What a calamity! Hey everyone, how's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with a little sort of transfer talk update video for you because it is deadline day now. And it sort of crept up on me, this one, because I did know that they were implementing this before the start of this season. It's something that I've wanted and a lot of people have wanted, obviously, for the Premier League. The fact that you cannot make transfers after the actual season proper starts, because it does mix everything up and it just confuses every single team, their selections. Most managers would 100% want to get it wrapped up before the season actually starts, but not me this year now, because Manchester United have done basically nothing. We've done nothing in this transfer window. You know, we've got Freddie Flintstone, we got Grant, we got Dalot, but we didn't get the lot, did we? No, we've just got a couple of random geezers in, basically, and it's very, very annoying, because I was expecting Manchester United to really build this summer transfer window in order to really challenge Manchester City next season, which I think is looking ever increasingly, less likely, to be honest, because, we've not had a good pre-season. I think some of our issues have been highlighted even more so during the build-up to the start of this season. And also just the fact that we've not got any good players in, really. Yes, it would be fantastic if Fred just turned out to be an excellent player for Manchester United. Of course, that's what I want to happen. And I think he's got the ability to do that. But he's not proven at this sort of level, really. Not consistently, anyway. Manchester United, we've left it to the last day, it seems. I don't know what Ed Woodward's been doing. Jacking off all summer, probably, because... it's like, what's that? Maguire, no, we've had their transfer bid rejected, are we? Oh, Leicester City are not selling up today, no. Oh, okay, let's quick get in there for Godin. Bid for Godin. Diego Godin. Can we get Godin in? No. They don't want to sell him to us. Okay, Alderweireld. Let's get Alderweireld. We need a centre-back, Alderweireld. Tottenham Hotspur, they're not selling anyone because they haven't bought anybody. So... it's kind of infuriating because we all know, the world and his nan has known that Manchester United need to sign a really top quality centre-back in order to improve our team and improve our starting 11. We've got Eric Bailly, I think he's great. We need a partner for the lad. Jones and Smalling, they're pretty bang average. They're not up to the standard. Now, we were all looking at Harry Maguire in the World Cup thinking what a fantastic player he could potentially be for United because he's still young. He's more of a physical unit than the other lads. His performances speak for themselves. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I just thought he would be an excellent fit for the club. Plus, he is English. This is an English club. It would make sense. Maybe he could be like the next Rio Ferdinand for us. Obviously, not as good as Rio, but who is really? He could have been the next sort of big quality English defender to be at Manchester United for the next decade. That's what it could be. But it's looking like Leicester City are not wanting to sell on the last day of the transfer window. And who can really blame them? Because, they've got... the opportunity now to cement themselves as like a top 8 Premier League side. And they're not really going to do that if they sell their best players. And I think they've got a little bit more ambition as a club than a lot of football clubs do at this level, because a lot of teams just look at the money. We'd probably have to pay something like 75 million, maybe even more now with the way this transfer window has gone, in order to actually bring him to the club. But in all fairness, we would have to pay that. Maybe that's where it's all fallen down. We've bid 65 million, and then you've got Chelsea signing unknown goalkeeper twats for 71 mil and stuff like that, and it's just ruining the transfer market. Let me just talk about that for a moment as we're talking about transfers. Courtois, of course, has gone to Real Madrid from Chelsea. That's an absolutely fantastic move for us. Because, of course, there's so much speculation. There has been every single transfer window for the last 5 years about what's happening with David De Gea. And this just increases the likeliness that he will stay at Manchester United for a very long time. And he is the best goalkeeper in the world. You've got Chelsea paying 71 million for this Kepa mug, who probably is going to be really good, obviously. You don't spend that sort of money unless you know he's a really good goalkeeper. I haven't seen enough of him to comment. I'm just being jovial. Courtois gone over to Real Madrid there. We saw Alisson sign for Liverpool for a world record fee at the time, which has been broken a week later with this deal. So... I'm just so happy we've actually got the world's best goalkeeper at Manchester United. And there's going to be a few people coming in now, some anti-Manchester United trolls in here, saying, yeah, but that was before the World Cup performance. Hang on a second. David De Gea, he made a couple of errors at the World Cup. Thought Spain generally not very good at all. He didn't shine. It can happen. Goalkeepers is a very, very unforgiving position, and he made a couple of mistakes. Come on now. How many mistakes has he made for Manchester United, especially at the start of his career when he's an 18-year-old lad coming in there? He made quite a few. You learn from them. You move on. Goalkeepers, no matter how good they are, they're always going to make mistakes. So I think that's just bullshit. He is still the best goalkeeper in the world. That's not the reason why Real Madrid didn't want to. I mean, come on. So absolutely over the moon about that. Absolutely over the moon that we are keeping David De Gea. That's huge. Forget this signing a new defender, bollocks. That's the most important thing we could have done defensively. But we absolutely need to sign a centre-back before the window slams shut at, I believe, 5 p.m. today. That's 3 hours. That's 3 hours. Now, Manchester United are desperately trying to sign a centre-back. Jose has made his feelings very clear that he's not happy with the movement from Manchester United's board and Ed Woodward and all this stuff in bringing players in. And so far, I'd have to agree with him. I mean, he can only do so much. It's the team behind the scenes that are crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and making the transfers happen. And they haven't done that so far. We could have got Harry Maguire wrapped up a couple of weeks ago if we'd have just paid the extra money, I'm sure. Right now, they don't want to sell him. The funny thing is, they've just signed a defender as well. Let me just see his name for you here. I've got it here. Leicester City, they finalised the signing of defender Filip Benkovic from Dynamo Zagreb, right? So it's like they are strengthening that position, which means to us that we were looking at the possibility that Maguire would be sold in this transfer window to Manchester United, which would be excellent. And they've signed this defender, which just confuses the situation. It's like, hang on a second, are Leicester City not going to get rid of Harry Maguire and they're actually signing defenders in order to strengthen them? Holy shit! We've got some competition next season. Do you know what I mean? Claude Puel has come out and said that he cannot change his squad so late in the transfer window, and a potential world record bid for Harry Maguire would be rejected. So, okay, that's just smoke and mirrors, you could say. He's just saying that in order to milk a bit of extra money out of United for this transfer. He's already signed a replacement defender in order to soften the blow of losing Harry Maguire. That's what it looks like on the face of it, but he's come out and said that. They don't want to sell him. Why would they want to sell him? If you're the manager anyway, forget about, this is the board's decision behind the scenes, really. This is about Leicester Football Club, what they want to do. Do they want to progress and have the ambition and challenge again for European spots next year? Or do they want to let one of their best defenders go for money? That's what it boils down to, and we will see how much money Manchester United are prepared to put on the table in order to sign Harry Maguire. What do you guys think about it? Because I don't want us just to go out there and panic buy a defender who's had a decent World Cup, but before that, has looked good. This last season for Leicester was brilliant, but before that, he's got a bang average career, really. Do we want to spend 100 million on this guy? Not really. But it's all easy to say with hindsight. Look at when we signed Rio Ferdinand. Obviously, it was a bit different. He was clearly a Rolls Royce of a defender, as he's been described in the past. But that seemed like a heck of a lot of money at the time. But he went on to be one of the cheapest signings we ever made, really, in terms of value for money, because he was absolutely brilliant for years. So Harry Maguire's got the potential to be that player for us. Let me talk about Yerry Mina. That's right, the 23-year-old Colombian defender who currently plies his trade at Barcelona. Let's talk about Yerry. Go to Everton. Oh, my days, what's going on here? So, wait a second. Manchester United, another defender that we're in for, kicked back again by another defender. What's going on? It's like apparently he is having an Everton medical right now. And he would have probably been our fourth choice signing, but there was a lot of speculation and talk about us signing Yerry Mina just as another option for centre-back there. Maguire, Alderweireld, a late bid in for Diego Godin, and now Yerry Mina, of course, is perhaps not coming to... It was going to Everton, so that's another one off the agenda that Manchester United could sign. What a fucking calamity this is turning into. I'm not so worried because I know we've got 2.5 hours left of this transfer window and I'm expecting something to happen for Manchester United. If we go to the end of this transfer window and do not sign a top quality centre-back, i.e. one of the lads that we've been talking about in this video so far, then I think it'll go down as one of the worst transfer windows ever, along with that calamity of a transfer window when we signed Marouane Fellaini and that was it. When David Moyes came in, because that was absolutely shocking. But this is right up there, I'm telling you, it is. We've got to make something happen, don't we? Because next season we're going to be left exposed at the back again with the players we've currently got in there. We need to improve. Look at some of the other signings that the teams around us have made this transfer window. We have not done well in terms of strengthening this squad. I think the Harry Maguire deal is going to happen, but there's a lot of people commenting here said it's done, it's dusted, don't even talk about it. I think that's still going to happen. I'm going to do a video at the end of the transfer window later on in a couple of hours' time with a full update of what's actually been finalised for Manchester United, which may be nothing. It may be nothing, but it also may be a top quality player coming in. I mean, it's really annoying because United really did need to go out there and sign not only a top quality centre back, but a top quality midfielder, loads of other top quality players, really, because we are lacking in a lot of positions, really. If you're talking about the quality that Manchester City possess and how far we were behind last season, it's evident that we needed to sign maybe another winger, maybe another centre mid, and a top quality centre back, of course. It's looking likely that those aren't going to happen. Maybe just the centre back deal is going to happen. But we're looking at the shortlist right now. We're looking at the shortlist, and Mina's having an Everton medical. Godin has just knocked back Manchester United, apparently, or Atletico have rejected the bid for Manchester United, so that's not looking likely. That's a player that I said would be a good signing for Manchester United a month or so ago. I don't know if you remember, but I was saying he is, he's the finished article. He's a Jose Mourinho player. He's 32. He's only got a couple of years at the top level left, really. But he was absolutely commanding in the World Cup for Uruguay. And he has been one of those top quality centre-backs across Europe for the last 5 years. So he's bang up there. He's a really good player. He would add something to our side, definitely. Same goes for Harry Maguire, I think, based on the performance he's had in the Premier League, which is very important for Leicester City last year. I think he got their player of the season, and rightfully so. He was excellent. And with the World Cup that he's had, I think he's grown into a really good top-quality Premier League defender. Maybe not to the likes of Diego Godin's level, but he's only 25. So he's got a lot to offer Manchester United. He would be the player I'd go for out the bunch, but obviously money dependent, and also whether or not Leicester City want to get rid of him. Then let's talk about the other option that we could perhaps go for, which would be Toby Alderweireld. Now, he's one of the players that maybe there was a lot of speculation about him leaving Spurs this transfer window. They haven't got rid of anybody this window. They've also not brought anybody in. So that doesn't bode well for us, because I think, realistically, if they're not signing anybody, they're not going to be wanting to selling anybody. Now, they've still got a lot of strength at the back there. Losing Alderweireld for them right now probably wouldn't hurt them too much. But they don't want to sell him to a Premier League rival last day of the deadline day without bringing somebody quality in to replace or, add a bit more depth. Pochettino would not be happy to lose a player of that caliber this late on, just before the start of the window. So that's looking ever increasingly less likely also. Just have a bit of coffee, 2 secs. Just get a bit of a scratchy throat there, but yeah, so it's not good, is it? It's not looking good for Manchester United. We've got a lot of work to do between now and 5 o'clock in order to actually successfully bring in a top quality centre back, and we were hoping for more, which is probably not going to happen. But please, Woodward, please, Manchester United board, please make something happen, because one thing's for sure, with the pre-season we've had, with the way we were last season, with Jose Mourinho at the helm playing his reasonably negative style of football, how are we actually going to challenge Manchester City next season? How are we going to stop the challenge of Liverpool, who have strengthened this transfer window? How are we going to stop the challenge of Chelsea? And you can even bring Arsenal into that, don't you see? But there's going to be a lot of teams vying for those top spots next season, as there always are. But what I don't like about this upcoming season is that we don't really have any momentum going into the season with our pre-season. We don't have any momentum going into it with signing a top-quality marquee player that gives the dressing room a boost and gives the fans a boost. No, we don't have any of that. Whereas the other teams that are challenging for those spaces, they do. So, it's really worrying times for Manchester United. Obviously, there is a lot of time left. I mean, I could click refresh on this website now, and hopefully, come on, fingers crossed, hopefully it says something awesome about Manchester United signing a player. Atletico Madrid reject Man United's Godin move again? What? We made another one, have we? We made another bid in the last 20 minutes and they've rejected it again. I don't know. But everybody who's joining me right now anyway, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. Do us a favour, chuck us a like on this video and get your thoughts and opinions in. Sorry if I've not actually responded to any of your comments so far. I've just been chatting loads of COD, but I'm going to get to it now. Looks like we've got a super chat from Alex Rincon. Thank you very, very much, Alex Rincon. He says, worst transfer window since Moyes. I said that a minute ago. It's so true. I mean, that was a terrible window, though, wasn't it? I mean, really. So we went in for a bunch of players that we didn't get because we had David Moyes, the Ginger Goblin, in charge, and nobody wants to play for David Moyes, the Ginger Goblin, apart from Fellaini, who used to play for the Ginger Goblin. So anyway, we could have got Fellaini for like 20 million with this release clause, and then they gave him a new contract after months of the transfer window going by. He was clearly our fourth or fifth choice player that we wanted to bring in that position. And then we ended up paying about 7 million more for him because they'd obviously given him a new contract and the release clause had changed. And we had to pay 7 million more for him because it was Moyes' last-ditch effort a few months late, basically. So that was a calamity. This is turning out to be one of the very worst as well. Tawanda Pamir, thank you for your comment. Tawanda comments and says, it's embarrassing. Woodward out. I've been reasonably impressed with Woodward's ability to bring players to the club over the last few seasons because I think he has signed us some brilliant players. But also, this transfer window, it's not been good. That transfer window at Moyes, it was a calamity. There's been incidences in there and certain years in there, certain summer transfer windows where we have had an absolute calamity. And so far, this is what's happening. Comment from Pump University, my brother from the same mother over in America. How's it going? He's got a comment. He says, we've got a really talented squad. Just getting them to play together would be the route to go. Oh my God, no. Calm down, bro, because we do have a talented squad. We have got excellent players in there. I think going forward, we've got some real fantastic talented players and really good ones for the future also. But defensively, I'm sorry. Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, not up to the standard. Lindelof, I didn't see enough from Lindelof to say, oh yeah, nice, he can be the new partnership at in the centre-back position for us for the upcoming next 5 years. He's going to be Vidic and Rio incarnate. It's Bailey and Lindelof. No! Absolutely not. It's just not quite up to the standard of it. We need a really quality centre-back to come in there and partner Bailey, who does look like a really quality centre-back, and then we could potentially challenge. All good teams are based on having a great defence. Look at Fergie's successful teams in the Premier League era. They've all had fantastic centre-back pairings and defences generally, always. We don't have that. We haven't had that since Vidic and Ferdinand left. So we've been trying to plug a gap for 5 years, and we just haven't been able to do it. I think we definitely need to bring in a centre-back, somebody like an Alderweireld or a Maguire who's proven in the Premier League, who could do it week in, week out, and really, really improve our defence. That's what it's all about here. You know, like I said, we've got the attacking talents. It's just whether or not Spurs will want to get rid of him. I don't think they will because they haven't signed anybody. But if they do, that would be a fantastic signing for us before the end of the season. But at the moment, it's not even being talked about really on Sky Sports here. It's not even being talked about. It's more about, you know, Maguire, Godin, that sort of thing. So, worrying times. Walter White with a comment saying, Godin mugged us off for a bigger pay packet. Sky Sports just announced a deal was brokered with his agent last week, but it was all a ruse to get a bigger pay packet, the cretin. What an absolute tosser. Not you. I'm talking about Godin and his agent, if that's true. Yeah, it would make sense. Players do stuff like that all the time. How many times do we see Cristiano Ronaldo do that? Saying, oh yeah, I might want to come back to Manchester United actually. No, I just want a £500,000 pay rise on my contract at Real Madrid. Well, he did actually leave this window, but you know what I mean? It happens all the time. But he's a player that we should have perhaps been talking to and trying to actually persuade to come to the club a long time ago. Maybe even before the World Cup or during the World Cup. Why wait until the last day of the transfer window to make a last-ditch bid for somebody of that calibre who you know is a great player and can do a job for you? Oh, it's clear. It's because we've had our pants pulled down on the Harry Maguire situation. We all want a Maguire. We put a bid in for Maguire. We're talking to Maguire. It's going to happen. It's not happened, though, has it? Which has left us a little bit short. And the fact that we're going in there for Godin and going in there for other defenders just goes to show you that the breakdown in the Maguire deal is very, very real. I hope we can get that back on track and get that over the line, but I just don't think, realistically, that that's going to happen today. Luca comments, where do you think we'll finish this season? Well, I mean, if I'm totally honest with you, and I hate to say this because City is scum and Manchester United obviously have a big place in my heart, and I would always just arrogantly say we're going to finish first. I would always say that previously in the past because I believe that to be true. But this window, the way it's gone, the pre-season we've had, the opposition that we've got in the Premier League next season, the strength of the teams, the strength of Man City, who record-breaking season they had last year, they would have to really have a downturn in order to drop that level. I don't think they're going to drop that level. They've got the best manager in the world, really. They've got some of the best players in the world, one of the best squads in the Premier League, no doubt about it. And the way that they play their football is so dominating against 99% of teams. The way they play, they just keep on the ball, work the chances, create loads of chances, barely give the ball away, and win games. And that's what they do. Not all the time, of course. Liverpool messed them up a couple of times last year. But other than that, it's like, hang on, we beat them. Yeah, we beat them. And Liverpool beat them a couple of times. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't see them dropping off. I think they're going to win the Premier League next season. Not only that, Liverpool, unbelievable force going forward. Jurgen Klopp, the attacking style of football, the way that they play. It's the most attractive attacking style of football in the Premier League, or at least it was last year. They lost Coutinho, didn't matter a fig, did it? It didn't matter a fig. Is that an expression? I've just made it up, but it didn't matter because they had enough attacking talents, and the way that they go about it, the way that they get at teams and attack, they have enough attacking talents to still be an incredible attacking force, and they didn't really miss Coutinho at all. Not only that, they added Virgil van Dijk to their back line, one of the best defenders in the Premier League, proved why they paid that sort of money for him as well, with his performances from when they signed him to the end of the season. He was excellent for them. And let's not forget, they had that calamity Karius in goal. They've improved that position. Alisson could turn out to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. We shall see. Hopefully he's another Calamity James or something, but he could well go on and be one of the best defenders around in world football. I think if that happens, if Liverpool have improved their backline, their defence, the point where they are most vulnerable, then they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with next year as well, because they've got this manager who's completely gung-ho, goes for it, attacks, tries to win every game 5-0 no matter who they're playing. And the fans will be happy, but also it's very worrying because they are going to win a lot of games. Defensively, it was always like, yeah, we can get at Liverpool defensively. They don't have the quality back there, and they're a bunch of melts at the back. And that's been true for the last few seasons. But with this improvement of the goalkeeper, with Virgil coming in last year, they've definitely strengthened themselves at the back, which is what we needed to do. We haven't done that. Liverpool have done that, though. So that's worrying, because I think they are really going to challenge for the title this year. They probably don't have the consistency of Manchester City. We've seen that. We've seen them drop points against teams they shouldn't be dropping points against. But you cannot argue with the attacking talents they've got in their squad and the way they go about it, dominating teams, ripping teams apart on the offensive. And it's only really their defensive frailties that were the problem for them. And if they improve that, if they improve the goalkeeper's position and the defence, then okay, the tactics are going to leave themselves open at times because they are very attacking. They do flood a lot of numbers forward. But if they can improve themselves at the back, they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with. So to answer your question, where do I see Manchester United finishing this season? I cannot say we're going to finish below Liverpool because I would be a little bit sick in my mouth. But I do think we are going to finish behind Manchester City again because they're so dominant and they look so good. And we haven't done enough in this transfer window to close the gap in terms of quality. So I see Manchester City winning the league again. Hate to say it, but that's what I think. And I think Manchester United, we could finish second again. Liverpool could surpass us this season. Who knows? But I'm going for Manchester United to finish second, Liverpool third. That's what I'm going for. Dimas Marcy go with a comment. Thank you very much for your comment. Dimas says, Pig, we don't need to strengthen defence. We need to focus on attack. Kill teams off. Oh, that's a bold statement you've made there. Jose Mourinho's not going to do that, though, is he? Come on now. If we had Jurgen Klopp in charge of the club, but not Jose Mourinho. He's too much of a tactician, tinker man, and he's too happy to play defensively and play ugly and get the 3 points. He's too happy to do that. There's no way Jose Mourinho is going to go gung-ho and go, do you know what? We don't really need any more defenders in. Let's just play Jones and Smalling at the back there and hoof it up to Martial and Rashford and Lukaku. Because let's face it, what you're saying is, right in a way. If we did go that way, we probably would be more successful because we have got the attacking talents. Let Paul Pogba run free in the midfield. See what he's going to do. I'll tell you what, he's going to create a lot and have a lot of chances and probably score a lot of goals from midfield. Let Lukaku loose up top there. Give him the service. What's he going to do? He's going to get you 26 goals. No worries about it in the league. We've got Martial, who's obviously, there's a lot of turmoil with Anthony Martial going on to the club. I believe he was fined. And Jose Mourinho was not very complimentary with some of the things he said about him on returning to training. But you just had a freaking baby, Jose. Show a bit of compassion, you Portuguese Mr. Bean. And then there's Marcus Rashford, got the potential for Manchester United can do it right now. We've got the attacking talents, we do. So I hear you, and as a purist, I would love to see Manchester United just attack next season. But we've got Jose in charge. That's not going to happen, and it probably doesn't even play to the strengths of either Jose or the squad that we've actually got. I think we do need to strengthen at the back. I understand what you're saying. Look at Liverpool last year, but let's not forget that Liverpool lost a fair few amount of games and finished below us last year. They were the best team in the league going forward, but they were not the best team defensively, nowhere near. And that meant that they finished third, right? So that's not the answer. The answer is not to go all-out attack and not worry about our defence, because best teams, the good teams, they are built on having a really good, solid back line. Absolutely. I'd rather be boring and win every game 1-0 and win the league title than finish third and play like Liverpool did last year and attack. That's my own opinion. I know a lot of Manchester United fans would love to see that back at Manchester United, that mentality. K YouTube comments and says, Alisson is the best. Well, there you go. If Liverpool have got themselves one of the best goalkeepers in the world, then they really are going to have an improved defensive unit this season. K YouTube, Real Madrid don't want him because the Spanish people think he's shit because they don't watch United. Fair play. Yeah, well, that's crazy then. I mean, I guess if you're looking at it from that point of view, if the Spanish people don't watch United and they've just seen David De Gea's performance in the World Cup, then maybe they would go, actually, he's not that good. But he only had a couple of errors, in my opinion, and I think he is just absolutely fantastic, the best goalie in the world, and I'm happy about that. It's great for Manchester United that he did have a bit of a gash World Cup, and it's great that all these goalkeeper transfers are happening, filling these holes that we also always thought that maybe David De Gea would be off to fill. Alex Rudd, how's it going, Alex Rudd? He comments, you going to do a live stream later? Yes, I am, mate. Thanks so much for asking. I will be doing a live stream later on. Certainly for the end of the transfer window. Let's just give the old transfer centre a refresh here, see if we've signed anybody. Let's just see if we signed anybody. No, we haven't. So I will be doing a video a bit later on just to give a final rundown of the movings in the transfer window. See who, if anybody, Manchester United have actually managed to sign and get done before the end of the window. It's quite frustrating, isn't it, that it's all come down to the last couple of hours, make or break in the transfer window for United. It's a calamity. It's literally like when we got, what's his face in, Fellaini last day, and then there was that occasion where we just panic buyed and got, what's his face in Falcao in. It smacks of that, and those obviously didn't work out too well for us. Right, let me go through a few more of your guys' comments. And then I'm going to wrap this video up, and like I say, I'll be back on a little bit later. Mark Ashton comments, United richest team, yet always penny pinch a few mil here or there. If we want to be challenging, we have to be ruthless in the market. Totally agree with you, mate. You've said it there. It's not what it used to be. Manchester United, okay, we were always a club that perhaps didn't want to play top whack for players, but we always played a considerable amount, and we were prepared to do that. And maybe we've been a team that have always brought youngsters through, blooded these youngsters, improved these youngsters, and got them to real top quality standards. We've done that time and time again in the last 20 years. But last couple of seasons, not so much. And that's probably because we have got Jose Mourinho in charge of the club, and he's not known for his youth policy at all. So, I just think that we are being left behind in the transfer window a little bit. There's no way we want to become an Arsenal in those terms. And there's no reason we should be, because we are, commercially, I believe, the biggest football club in the world. We make the most money, or if not the most, the second most. So why are we being bullied around in the transfer market? Why are we not prepared to spend that extra little bit of cash in order to get our man? That's the reason we've not got Harry Maguire in a Manchester United shirt right now or a couple of weeks ago. The reason is because we were not prepared to pay the extra 10 mil or whatever it is in order to get a top quality centre-back in to improve our fucking team. Is it? I'm getting wound up about this now because you're spot on, mate. We should be paying that extra bit of money. Look at bloody Liverpool spending this amount of money on Alisson. Look at Chelsea. They've just signed some geezer called Kepa that most people never heard of for £71 million. And Man United can't go and spend the extra 10 million on Maguire. It's a fucking joke, it is. Wood and the lot, they need their freaking heads tested. I'm getting wound up now. I really am. But, it's not good, is it? It doesn't bode well for Manchester United for the remainder of the season anyway. Nick Superling, how's it going, mate? Comments, Woodward out. Oh, big words. There will be a lot of movement for that if we end the transfer window without signing anybody. Archie B comments, Pig, we are screwed. SSSS comments, we will win the league. That's optimistic. Archie B, I mean, I think you're echoing the sentiments of a lot of United fans at the moment, because we all know we do need to sign a quality player before the window closes in order to strengthen that side. Smalling, Jones, jog on. Mine to Mike comments. Do you think we'll actually sign someone? If I had to bet right now my life on it, are we going to sign, let's say, a top quality centre back before the end of the transfer window? I would say no. I would say no. If I had to bet my life on it, I would say no. But it could easily happen. I think there's obviously a lot of last minute work being done by Manchester United. It's like Ed Woodward's one of those. He's a GCSE student or something. He's got wasted the night before, his exam or his coursework's in, and then he's got to go and do it on the bus on the way to school. That's what we're doing right now in the transfer window. We're doing our homework last minute on the fucking bus when we should be getting it done at the start of the summer. I really don't understand why we've not signed a top quality player, but up to now. It's the end of the window now. Why are we now trying to sign a centre back? It's fucking mad. But to answer your question, no, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Alex Rudd comments, is Pogba staying? It looks like he is staying now. There was a speculation about a bid with some players coming in the opposite direction for Paul Pogba, but we're keeping hold of him. Personally, I wouldn't have been that worried about letting him leave, but that would have meant that we'd had to have signed a suitable replacement, and we're just not going to do that at the moment. We'll put a gang in charge, are we really? So yeah, it's a calamity. Right, let's get down the list a little bit here and see some more of you guys' comments. Big reaction to everybody tuning in today. Thanks so much for stopping by and getting involved in the comments section. Get your thoughts in before I leave in a few minutes' time, and I'll try and get round to answering them. But yeah, if you are tuned in right now, do us a favour, chuck a like on this video. If you're new to the channel, you just stumbled across it, smash that subscribe button, guys and gals. Another little super chat from Alex Rincon. Thank you very much, pal. He says, we needed 2 centre mids, a left back, a centre back, and a right wing. What did we do? Bought Fred, an injured 18-year-old, and re-signed Fellaini. Glaze us out. Oh my God, Alex. Where you put it like that, pal, you've got away with words. And that is so true. And it's an absolute calamity when you look at it like that. You're right. We needed, certainly a centre mid. Left back, definitely needed a left back. Got rid of Daley Blind. We got Luke Shaw. Is Luke Shaw the future of Manchester United and England in that position? Maybe, maybe not. He was great before that horrific injury that he received, of course. Since then, it's been difficult for him to make an impact. And Jose Mourinho's not been his biggest fan at times. Maybe this is his opportunity this season to really come in there and potentially be that quality left back for Manchester United this season. But I agree, if it was me in charge, I'd have signed Danny Rose at the start of the window or somebody. Another top quality left back to come in there, no doubt about it. Centre back, everybody knows we need to do that, and a winger. You're absolutely right, mate. We've got Fred. Could be good for us. Dalot, very young, could be good for us. Other than that, we've had an absolute calamity in this transfer window. So, yeah, I hear you, mate. It's just not worked out too well for us at the moment. But we have got 3 hours. We've got 2 hours for us to turn it around and for the lads to actually bring somebody in there. Comment here from Alex. He says, defence wins you titles. So Alex Ferguson, obviously a comment in response to me saying that every team has been successful in the Premier League has had a good, solid foundation at the back. And that's so true, mate. And it's come from the absolute biggest legend in football himself, Alex Ferguson. So don't listen to me, listen to Fergie. That's so true. That's what we needed to do. Sign a top quality centre-back. Every single person in the world knew that Manchester United had been lacking in that position, knew that we had to strengthen in that area in this transfer window. We should have done at the very start of the window, but we haven't. We haven't. Now we're last minute putting all these bids in. We've got Mina who's joining Everton. Godin's rejecting United because they don't want to go to a small club or something, the freaking prick. Alderweireld, Spurs probably don't want to get rid of them now, and even if they do last minute transfer window, they haven't brought any players in, we're going to have to pay them 100 million or something for the twat. Harry Maguire, similar sort of amount of money we might have to pay in order to get the deal over the line because Leicester have made their intent perfectly clear. Claude Puel said, we don't want to sell anybody. We want to challenge next season. We don't want to weaken ourselves the day before the transfer window starts. Day before the season starts. Of course, we've got Leicester tomorrow. What a huge freaking game that is. You know? So, yeah. Striker man, Mertens and Toby to United. See, I'd like to see that happen, absolutely. I think Toby Alderweireld is probably the best signing we could have made this transfer window. And I know I've said a lot about Harry Maguire, and I was so impressed with him at the World Cup, and his last season was brilliant. But Alderweireld, to me, is a more complete defender, and he's also a seasoned defender in the Premier League, and he's not even really wanted at Spurs. But then again, I mean, you know, it's a strange one, isn't it? I personally hope that we will get him. Lewis M96 comments, Khabib Conor prediction. I'm just going to talk about this very, very quickly. Obviously, this is a Manchester United sort of transfer rant video or talk video. But Conor Khabib prediction, it's a tough one to call, man. I think I'm going to do a video on that close to the time. But I think Conor McGregor just edges it because he is, you know, better on the feet. Khabib's an absolute wrestling monster and will probably have his way with him a good few times. But I think Conor's ground game is underrated. That's what I'm going to say right now. I'll talk to you, you know, about that later on at a later date. Lalu Pato, this channel is far realistic and better than... I'm not going to finish that comment, but yeah, thanks very much, mate. Better than some of the other shite out there. That's what he's saying anyway. Stephen Zevon, how's Henry? All right, let me give you an update on Henry Hotspur. Spoke to the prick. Right, okay, so he's just been hectically busy over there in China getting his whole new life set up and everything. He's done that now. Hopefully he'll be appearing on via satellite link on the channel at some point for a Pig in the Hen show. Going to try and get him to do it every single week. But yeah, he's just very busy at the moment, annoyingly. And of course, he does have a lot of stuff going on with work and getting everything set up now. So yeah, I have spoken to him. And the first thing I said to him actually was, how do you feel about Spurs' movement in the transfer window, mate? And he just basically said, well, we never signed anybody. He was expecting it, you know, classic Spurs. So it's not really, you know, the only difference that I would say between Spurs and Manchester United at the moment, those fans are probably not feeling great because they have obviously not signed and strengthened their side. But they didn't really need to. They certainly didn't need to as much as us anyway, because the players they've got there, they've got real futures ahead of them. They're a very young side, but as long as they kept hold of all their players, they kept hold of Eriksen and Ali and Kane, and as long as they kept hold of their players, they're going to be okay, because they've got a really good set of players there, and we can see that they're only going to go one way and get better and improve as a squad. They've got the right manager there, in my opinion, and they've got the right set of players, so they don't really need to go out there and mess up the chemistry of the team and sign a big player. It's not really what they have to do. We do, because I think it's clear that our backline is nowhere near good enough. Look at Spurs' backline last year. Fantastic backline, isn't it? I mean, if you look at, you know, Trippier, Danny Rose, who didn't even feature for half the bloody season, but still a quality player. You know, Alderweireld, they have got an excellent backline, and that's something that we need to address. They are not really lacking in any positions. Midfield-wise, they've got great creative players. I'd take Christian Eriksen at Manchester United in a heartbeat. 100%. If the transfer window finished at 5 and it said United signed Christian Eriksen for 100 mil, I'd be happy about that because he's that good of a player. Harry Kane up top, one of the best strikers in world football right now. They don't need anybody, really. We do. We absolutely do. I know you could argue and say you should always be trying to improve and that sort of thing, but I think they are going to improve anyway because they've got these younger players who are only getting better. Lord of Decay, as a Liverpool fan, these are good times. Jog on, son! No, you must be loving it, really. You must be loving it because Liverpool have had quite a good transfer window so far. We know that the problems they had last year defensively, and they've addressed them, or they're trying to address them anyway, so we should see some improvement from them next year. Right, I'm going to have to wrap this up, but there is a last little cheeky super chat from Alex Rudd that's come in here. Thank you very much, Alex. Hope you're keeping well over there, pal. He says, prediction for top 6 and who gets relegated. I think I'm going to do a full-on video about that at another time, but just to answer your question right now, because you have asked so nicely, I'm probably not going to talk about the relegated teams right now. I'll do that in a later video, like a Premier League preview. I'll probably do that tomorrow, actually, Alex. But top 6, I mean, I would have to say right now, I do think City are going to win the league again. I think we're going to finish 2nd again. I'd go for Liverpool 3rd. And then the 4th team, I'd probably give it to Tottenham Hotspur based on the players that they've got in their squad. And then, you know, Chelsea are a bit of an unknown entity. They could do it this season, no doubt. They could win the league. It could just be one of those crazy seasons where they could just, it all could click. You never really know. Same with Arsenal to a degree, to a lesser degree. But same with Arsenal. It's a whole period of transition for them. Everything's up in the air. They could finish 10th, or they could finish 2nd, or they could finish 1st. Probably not. Probably they're not going to finish 1st, are they? But you know what I mean. It could be a great season for them where they've got rid of Wenger, they've got the new manager in, new mentality, new players, new approach, and suddenly it all clicks. Or it could go to shite, a la David Moyes at Manchester United, you know. So thank you very much for your super chat, though, mate. Really appreciate it. Right, I'm going to wrap up this deadline day transfer talk video. I wanted to do it just to give you my opinions on what's going on with Manchester United's transfer movement at the moment. Just to clarify as a conclusion, it's absolutely gash-tastic. Sort your freaking lives out, Woodward and the gang. Is this what Manchester United have come to? Scraping around trying to convince some twat to come in last day, paying over the odds. We should have got this wrapped up long ago and got a top quality centre-back in long ago. Let me know your thoughts on it. Come back in a couple of minutes' time once this video has been published to YouTube. Get your thoughts and opinions in permanently then. Let me know who you want Manchester United to sign between now and 5 o'clock. Like I said, I'll be doing a deadline day roundup video in a couple of hours' time once the transfer deadline day is over, once the market's shut. And we will be analysing any movements of players from the big clubs around Europe, seeing what's happened. I'll give you a rundown of the transfer movements. And hopefully we will be seeing a top quality player coming into Manchester United. But don't hold your breath on that one. So I'll keep you up to date a bit later on. For now, thank you everybody for tuning in. If I didn't get round to answering any of your comments, I really do apologise. Just going to give a couple of shout outs here. Harry Stafford, Dara Buckley, Nigel Arnsen, Ali Rashidi, Mohammed Abdulaziz, Archie B, Samuel Ponapa. All you guys who've commented at the end here and I haven't had a chance to actually read your comments, thanks so much for getting involved. Come back in a couple of hours' time, actually. Keep a lookout. If you follow me on Twitter at MrFlyingPigHD, I'll post a little link to the live stream around about 5 p.m. or whenever it's going to be that I'll be giving you a rundown of all the deals that have happened in the transfer window today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know your disdain in the comments below. Do us a favour, chuck us a like on this video. As I say, if you're new around here, you can subscribe. Click the bell button as well to be notified when I have posted a new video or go live. So click that little bell button down there. Right, I'll see you soon. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Sort your freaking lives out, Manchester United. Come on. Let's sign a top quality centre back before the window slams shut, you bunch of melts. Oh.